2 The Redline Productions proudly presents today's 2 The Redline review was made possible in part by
Hey YouTube. Well, today let's take a look at the GTI's much more humble sibling. This is a 2010 Volkswagen Golf. Now, this generation Mark 6 came out in 2010, as you've heard me say or tell you guys many times. Now the Golf, when you just buy a regular Golf, is available like this, which is the 2.5 liter in either 2 or 4-door configuration, or you can also get the TDI. The TDI is known as like a specialty Golf. It's available. It's a turbo diesel engine. It kind of competes with the hybrids that are on the market. That's personally what I would get if I was going to get a regular Golf. But nonetheless, this is the one that Volkswagen kind of offers their special lease deals on all the time, and you can get them for a fairly good price. This one's just the candy white exterior color, 4 doors, automatic transmission. The Golfs just come with a regular automatic transmission as opposed to the DSG that's in the TDI and the GTI. And this one, I really like the styling of this generation Golf, the Mark 6. Definitely, I prefer it over the previous generation, which actually the Mark 5 was actually known as the Rabbit. You guys see me do a video on the Rabbit. But this generation just is a very clean, sophisticated look. But this one, as you can see, it's a pretty basic trim. It's got 15-inch steel wheels on it, no sunroof, but you still get nice features on the inside, as well as the turn signal mirrors. In the mirrors and the side mirrors, you still have the little Volkswagen bulb hood cover in the headlights, so it's a very upscale car, as typical Volkswagen. Here's just the plain basic black interior. The steering wheel doesn't have any doesn't have any audio controls in it. It doesn't have the flat bottom like the GTI had. Getting into the interior, you can see that really basic looking radio. Here's the same key that is in the GTI though. The gauges on this 2010 look just like the one out of the GTI, except the GTI does have a 180 mile per hour speedometer as opposed to the 160 on this car. And you can hear that little 5-cylinder engine fire up. It's a very distinctive sound. The windows all 4 of them are still fully automatic. You still get heated mirrors, but you do lose a couple things, like the GTI has that little metal lip on the edges of the window switches. This one doesn't have it, but you still have the aluminum-like door trim, silver-painted plastic here, soft-touch panels in the door panels, and soft-touch right there where your elbow hits. And it's still lined in felt here, so they haven't skimped too much on the quality. The steering wheel does look pretty boring, though. Definitely prefer the steering wheel in the GTI over this. The radio head unit's also pretty basic. It's kind of just your standard sound system. But the sound system here is actually not that bad, surprisingly. The dashboard still has the same high quality stuff, no auto-dimming rear mirror, and no, like I said, no sunroof or anything like that. You still have these little puny little sunglass holders. This car, like I said, has a 6-speed automatic, conventional automatic with a sport mode and manual mode, no paddle shifters or anything like that. You still get a multifunction trip computer and such, but it's just controlled from the little button right here when you don't have the controls on the steering wheel. Glove box is still lined in felt, still padded, whatnot. Actually, the door's not padded, just the inside's lined with felt. It's damped. The seats, they're pretty comfortable. Don't have as much bolstering as the GTI. This one is a pretty well-worn example. You can see 64,385 miles. You do lose the center console here, which I'm kind of missing a lot just because there's no armrest here. But you still get stability control. No heated seats though, but you have the same basic manual climate controls that the GTI had. Now this is a 4-door Golf, so as you can see, without the center console, you lose the back seat air vents, but you do have the same soft touch materials throughout here. 4 doors, so it's a very nice configuration, also pretty roomy back here. And you have your armrest here with your pass-through and storage, so that's very nice. Now, like I said, this is the 4-door. It does still have the cargo hatch cover, which just isn't put on properly. All-weather floor mats, the seats fold down and everything. 20 cubic feet with the seats up on the 4-door, about 15 with the seats up on the 2-door. And here is just your familiar 2.5 liter 5-cylinder engine that Volkswagen's been using for a few years. 170 horsepower in this car, 177 foot-pounds of torque. You can see they've changed the color of the engine cover from that Rabbit that I showed you, but it's still supported by a strut instead of a prop, so it's a really smooth, torquey engine that makes a very interesting sound. So it's Some people have criticized it as being unrefined. I think it's just a very interesting sound. It's just very charismatic with a 5-cylinder engine. Okay, but for those of you who are in the market just for the regular Golf, not necessarily its high-powered sibling, the GTI, let's take a look at how this thing drives. Conventional 6-speed automatic, like I said, and you have still the same great sight lines. The 5-cylinder engine is very torquey. The steering wheel is not leather wrapped though, so you do kind of lose that premium feel that the GTI has. And plus I really miss the flat bottomness, but in terms of how the car handles, it's still really sporty. Not quite as like nimble and precise as the GTI, but this car gives you that softer ride that you're looking for. Because it's amazing, the GTI still gets praised for its better ride quality, but it's definitely still on the stiff side. It will get out of its own way relatively well. The 6-speed automatic is really efficient and it really changes the gears really well. I mean, I don't really have any complaints with it. It drives very nice. And I have it in sport mode right now, that's why it downshift automatically. So it's a pretty good responsive 6-speed automatic. I definitely prefer the DSG just because I love its lightning fast shifts. Plus that 5-cylinder makes a really weird noise. Yeah, when you're accelerating normally, it's got plenty of torque. And you don't really have to push the engine that hard. I mean, with 177 foot-pounds of torque, you're definitely going to be able to outsprint all the Civics, the Corollas. I'm not sure if this is quicker than a Focus, but I mean, this car definitely competes in that class, but with a much nicer interior. I know Volkswagen's planning to redesign the Golf soon. I'm very curious to see what they plan to do with it. I mean, personally, this generation, I really like this generation Golf, much better than the current Jetta. I don't like the Jetta as much as this. This is a really nice car still, despite the fact that this is a base model with steelies. But anyways, guys, if you're in the market for a Golf, it definitely deserves to be on your list. It is a little bit more expensive than the competition, but you do get a nicer interior and you get more power. Gas mod's a little bit less, but you definitely be able to outsprint most of the competition. But anyways, guys, if you're in the market, thanks. Check one out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Yeah, here's some legal stuff for you. The views and opinions expressed in the following video may not necessarily reflect those of the title holding automotive dealer or the entity they represent. All videos are filmed with permission by a professional driver on a set course with the collaboration and assistance of local law enforcement authorities. Do not attempt. Logos and brandings of vehicle manufacturers, dealerships, and online social media sites are the sole property of their respective representation used with permission. The To The Redline logo, soundtrack, and web resources, as well as all other associated media, are copyrighted intellectual property of To The Redline LLC. All rights reserved.